Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Ay, still not understanding.
But I'll be on it always, always and
Hey everyone, it's your girl Tracy and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today what I want to go ahead and do, excuse the mess, you see how someone gotta come help me clean the mess behind me. However, okay, so today what we're gonna be doing is we are gonna go and learn how to make one of my most popular plushies in my shop. Yes, so let me show you what it is. So here it is. Look at the cute little guy. So this Chunky Bees is one of my best sellers. Always sells out at my every single market. The bees. Okay, I'm going to show you how I do the color change and everything. And yeah, let's go make this cute little guy. So stay tuned, okay? So first we are going to make a magic circle or magic ring. This is how I do it. So here we go. Try to do it as slow as possible for you to see. I don't think you can see that, so I'm going to do it again. I'm adjusting my yarn to where I can hold it like this. So I have this little loop, this little circle here, and this is where I'm going to work. I like to have a long tail because I'm going to pull this close. I'm going to close the circle at the end with this tail. So I'm working into the circle like so, and I'm putting 6 stitch into the circle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 in the circle. Now I'm going to, here it is, I'm going to close this, pull it, and it closes. See how it closed? Now I'm going to put a stitch marker here. I'm using the stitch marker and I'm putting it here to mark where I will end. And then I'm going to begin the second row with a stitch. So here is our magic circle or magic ring. We pull it close and we're going to work around this stitch. So we're going to do the second round, and what I do is I increase around. So increase around. Let me hold my hands up here so you can see. Increase is putting 2 stitch in each stitch. That sounds confusing, I know, but it's really 2 stitch. So 1, 2, 1, 2. That's how I counted in my head. So you hear crocheters that are quiet, they're counting. We're always counting. And another 1, 2. There we go. Sometimes this opens up. Don't worry about it because you have your long tail. You just keep pulling. Don't pull this way. I normally take my hook off, pull it up so I don't lose it, and I pull it this way just to be sure, because this will come all the way off and then you're in problems. It's closed, it's tight, and I'm going back to round 3. Move my stitch marker and replace it into my last stitch. And now we're doing 1 stitch, 1 increase. So 1 stitch in this stitch and an increase in the next. So we're gonna replace our stitch marker each time we end a row. And you see that circle coming in. Now the next is round 4, which is 2 stitch and then an increase. So 2 crochet stitch and then an increase in the next stitch. 2 crochet stitch and increase in the next. I think I'm going too fast for you because I'm so used to it. I'm pulling up my yarn. Each time you see me do this is because my yarn is getting stuck because it's hanging on the floor. It's just hanging out. Yeah. So then that's round 4. Now we replace our marker and we're doing a stitch around. This is round 5 and we're going all around, 1 stitch in each stitch. So 1 stitch all around. And around we go. Like the magic school bus. Round and around. So we're going to keep going around until we hit our stitch marker. Place the stitch marker and we're going to now add the second color. But before I do that, I like to place my eyes. I use safety eyes and I'm using 12 millimeters safety eyes. So I have a bunch right here and I'm gonna place them. I place them. Here's how you know where to place them. On here. If your hook is here, we're going to place them opposite where the stitch marker is. So we place the eye, we turn it over, and we place the eyes above where the stitch marker, because our color change is gonna happen here, and so we want to put it at the bottom. So I place the eyes like so, and you can adjust them to how you feel pleased. Okay, think that's good? What do you think? You think that's good? Yeah, I think it's good. Then I put the backs on. I clip them on. This is what I use to put my safety backs on, so they go all the way down. See that? Make sure they're all the way down. Okay. Voila. So we will continue to do the black. Let me put this away. We're going to add a color. Let me show you how to do the color change now. Let me grab the color. Here's the black yarn. We're going to add a color into row 6. So we're at row 6, right? How I do my color change is so. But when I'm starting the row, I do not close the stitch. So I pull up 2 on my hook. I place my black yarn into the head of the hook and I pull it through like so. And then I pull down the yellow yarn. I just pull that one out the way so it's flat, and pull the black yarn to tighten on my hook. And then I just continue. I don't close it off like this. Some people do this. I don't do that. You can. It's preference. I just crochet fast, so I like to just continue. So once I put that in, I put this little tail in my working area because I'm going to work it in, and I go into the next stitch and then I continue. So we're going to continue around with the new color and we're going to get back to the stitch marker. Okay, all right, so let's go. Trying to go slow. When I go slow, you see my hook falls out because I'm so used to going fast and I'm recording, so my hook keeps falling out. I'm doing this for you because I want you guys to make some chunky beads at home as well. It's the easiest crochet. I think is the easiest. I also have a chicken pattern, the Marlowe chicken, that is also easy. So we're gonna put our stitch marker, and if you notice, there's a space here, right? Because we're gonna start the next row. Okay, we're doing 2 rows of the black row and it's single stitch all around. Okay, no more increases, it's just single stitch around until we get to the end. So I'm doing 2 rows of the black, so this space is there. What I do is, I will just put a stitch in here, right, and I continue here just to make it a little bit, seamless. That's close, right? And then we continue. We're doing 2 rows, so I'm going to take you back to when we switch back to yellow. Okay, let's go around. All right, we're back at our stitch marker, And no, as you can see, I do not cut my yarn. Some people will cut each time they reach a color change, they cut the yarn. I don't. I hate doing that. But sometimes you have to. But with this pattern, you don't have to. Now we're going to change color again. Okay, we're going back to yellow. So it's the same thing. We're going to pull up 2. I pull up 2 here. I already have my yellow attached. So I'm finding the yellow and I just put it over my hook, pull it through, and there, pull it down, there we go, and then I just continue. It's already up there. I'm going in the next stitch and I'm closing it off. There we go. Let me place it over my finger. Everyone has a different way how they hold their yarn and hook, so you don't have to hold your yarn and your hook the same way like I do, because I teach crochet. I have students that I teach. I do classes on Zoom. So you can also book crochet class with me if you want to learn how to do to crochet, and I do one-on-one. I love my students. I also, if you're in the New York area, I also do home visit where I come to your house and I teach you how to crochet, or teach your teenagers how to crochet. Yeah, so I teach from ages, I can teach from age 14. Actually, sorry, my youngest is age 12. So the 12 and upwards, as long as they can grasp the understanding. I also will teach an 8-year-old as well, or a 10-year-old. So all right, let's replace this stitch marker because we're now at the end. Let me show you what I'll do. So here is where the mishaps normally happen, is this when you're changing the color here. So what I do is I do this and I close this stitch completely. I close it and I do the second one right there and I pull up 2, and this is when I do the color change back to black. Okay, that's how I do it. Pull it down and then I continue the stitch. I have such a bad habit of moving the bee out of the frame, but I'm pulling my yarn up, it's in the way, it's getting tugged on, so trying to keep my hand in the frame is not easy to do this in crochet. All right, so let's close this off. We're back at our stitch marker, so let's look now. So you can see the color changes happening as smooth as it could be. Sometimes you get it where this is done more, because you can literally start, put the hook in here, the last one, but I don't do that. It's not that important to do, you know, it still looks good. You can do that, some people do, to get this in line, but it's still, we're going in circles, so it's always going to look like a step up down, because we're going in a spiral circle. Okay, so we're going to continue because we're doing 2 rounds of the black. So we're at round, right now we are, what row are we at? I think we're at, we're doubling. Once you're going around, I missed which row we are, but we can count this way. When you miss which row, you can just count. This is 1, this is our 6, you see right there. This is our 6 right here. You can see the circle. 6, so 1. This is another 1, 2. So another 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're at 9. So we're on row 9. So that's an easy way to figure out what row, if you are talking like I am and you miss your count and you're not using a counter, because I do not use a counter. Okay, we're at row 10. We're going back to yellow. So we do it again. We don't have to skip because we're still in the black and we're just changing to yellow. So we can just do that. The same thing, pull up 2 and we don't close it off. We continue around. All right, we're back at the end. remove our stitch marker, and we are going to close it off. This is where I do this rule where I pull up 2 and I close this one off, because I have a black and a yellow color change gap right here. So I close that, the first one off, and then this would be where I would change the color, but we're not changing color, we're closing it off. So we're at row 11, am I correct? Row 10 or 11, and we're going around. You don't even have to keep memory of the rows that you're doing. You just need to keep a memory of the steps. It's easier because, you know, we're literally just working in rounds, so it's easier. That's why this pattern is the easiest pattern to make. Let me slow it down a little. So I go in and I come up and I pull through 2. I don't know how to slow this down. I'm gonna slow it down. 1, 2, 3. Do you see the handwork, guys? How we move in through the loop? I go behind my yarn, I pull it through, pull it up. There's 2, then I put it under this yarn here, and I turn my hook down and guide it through the hole, pull it up. That's so cool, huh? That's a slow-mo right there. And now we're going to go do decreases. So here, let's take a look at our work. When I get here, this is where I start stuffing. All right, I start stuffing here. See, quite cute, nice, very good, good job. All right, so let me stuff it. I have my stuffing over here. It's always close by, so I'm just gonna stuff. Take my hook out. I'm just going to you can cut this black. You can cut the black yarn out now. Let's do that. Let's cut this black yarn. And then let's stuff this baby. So I like to spread the stuffing for it to be well stuffed. I like to put a little in the bottom, stuff it around, make like a hole. I push it to the side, as you can see, and then I just fill in the middle once I do that. So that just guarantees that I get my yarn all around and stuffed evenly around. So this is how I stuff my yarn. Then I start shaping it. It's coming together. Woo-hoo-hoo. We're gonna close it up, and then we're gonna stuff some more. So once I have it like this, I'm going to close. So let's do the crease now. So let me show you how to do a decrease. This is how we do it. So we're doing 2 stitch and then a decrease. When we were increasing, you remember we did 2 stitch and then an increase. So and then we do 1 stitch. We did 1 stitch and an increase, then 2 stitch and an increase. When we're decreasing in the same pattern, we go the opposite way when we're decreasing. So we're going to go 2 stitch and then a decrease for this round. 1, 2, and the decrease is an invisible decrease, and this is how we do an invisible decrease. We pull up the front loop of the first stitch, and then the second stitch right after, we pull up that front loop as well. Then we pull our yarn through, pull up 2, and seal it off. Let's do that again. 1, 2, and then we are going to pull up the front loop of the first stitch in front, the second stitch in front, we pull up that front loop, then we're going under our yarn, pulling our yarn through, pull up 2 on the hook, and we are going to close it off. Not as hard. If you did that, leave it, let me know in the comments. Let me know that you did it and you followed and it was easy. Or if it's still hard and you need some more support, I am happy to do another video breaking it down or making it a little slower for you if you need. But if it's going well, let me know in the comments. How much did I do? if you miscount, because I'm talking, I'm going to miss it a lot. What I do to know where I'm at is I'm going to pull this out until I get to my first decrease. That's how I know where I'm at. Here's the decrease right here. So now I know I should do 1, 2, and this should have been a decrease. See? Don't be afraid to get confused. Somehow I feel like I missed a stitch here. This hole seems wider, huh? Let's make sure we didn't do that. Oh, we kind of did. We went, oh no, we didn't. It's just loose. My tension got loose there. All right, so let's do that again. My tension just got loose. It got loosey, like a loosey-goosey. 1, 2, decrease. All right, so let's us decrease. The next one is, if you haven't already know what the next row is going to be, it's going to be 1 stitch and 1 decrease. So we're doing 1 stitch, a decrease, invisible decrease, invisible, what did I just say? It's invisible decrease. 1 stitch and an invisible decrease. 1 stitch, invisible decrease. All right, so here's where I stuff it some more, because we have the butt right here. I want to put some more stuffing at this point in here. So let me grab my stuffing, which is right over there, and I'm going to just continue to do the same, spreading it to the sides first and then stuff in the middle. I like when my plushies are so bouncy and well stuffed. So yes, I like it like that. Shape it a little to your preferred shape. Stuff some more. Don't be stingy with the stuffing. I hate stingy stuffing. And then that's good. We're gonna now do the last round, which is we're going to decrease all around. So all the stitch, we're going to do an invisible decrease all around. So here we go. Pick up 2 stitch, front loop stitch, pick up another. We're just going to continue to do the same decrease all around. It gets tighter, so you got to just adjust your hand each time. My tension is so tight right now. My hand is kind of on fire. So now you can see I missed a stitch in the pattern because we only have 1 here and we should have had 2. So I guess that's what that hole was. I missed it in the prior row, but it's okay. It's a B, so some mistakes can happen and we still recover, right? Because it's still looking good, right? So now we're gonna pull up a tail. Okay, we can fasten off. So if you guys see a pattern and you see FO, it means to fasten off, and this is how we fasten off. So we ended the last row, we fasten off by pulling up a stitch, but we don't close it off. We're just gonna close this all the way through. So if you didn't see that, let's do it again. We pull up a stitch, pull it up, pull up 2 on the hook, and then we just bring the first stitch, the first loop. I keep saying the wrong thing, the first loop through the second loop and pull through. So we're gonna cut a tail. Get my little scissors, cut a good sized tail to finish closing the hole. And I'm gonna show you one other thing that I like to do. I cut it fairly long, like so. And you pull it all the way through so we don't wheel it out. So we have this little hole in the back and this missed stitch that we have here. Let me show you what I'm going to do to close that up nicely. So I use this needle. It's bent, it's curved a little. I love it. It's not straight, so it makes it easy to go through. I put this in, and here's how I close the hole up. So I like to put it through. I'm putting it through the front loops. and I just pick up 2 of them like so and pull it through. It's closing, see? And normally you just do 2 or 3 and it closes. So I'm just gonna put through 1, and then I pull through 2. That completely closes it. Then I like to go in the middle and pull it through the body and close to this hole. You see what I did? Make sure you get to this hole, and I'm gonna close this hole with by running the yarn through the space and just closing it off. And then I look to see if I have any more that I need to close. We're good, so we're going to do so. This is what I do. The rest of it, I like to take it through the front, where this spot, this is where we close the magic ring. I'm going to push my hook through it, my needle through it, and look. There's normally this, for me, this is always there. So I don't like to see it. So what I do, I pull the rest of the yarn that I'm sewing in, and then I take it through and take it back through the back. That kind of flattens it. Then I just adjust it, pull it out a little to how I want it, and look at that. Voila, it's much better. We're gonna cut this yarn off. And we're gonna make the wing. We're done. Look at the little bee body. How chunky is this guy? The butt. How chunky is this guy? Let's make the wings.